guys, so today I'm going to show you how to make the most awesome chocolate cake. And by the way, it's completely vegan. What? Are you trying to tell me that there are no milk, butter or eggs in this cake? That's right, there's no butter, eggs or milk in this cake. You know what? She just never believes me, but I'm going to show you how to whip up this beauty. Let's see. I'm going to start by getting this cake pan ready. I'm going to use a loose bottom cake pan, and it's really important to use this loose bottom cake pan because the cake is going to end up being really moist and tender, and to turn it out of a regular cake pan is going to be a bit of a problem. So a parchment paper lined cake pan will just work out much better. I'm greasing this pan and the parchment paper with some oil. Normally you would use butter to grease a cake pan, but this is a vegan cake, remember? So there's no butter in this. I'm using oil instead. You can use either canola or sunflower oil to grease the pan. Really, the idea is to use a neutral flavored oil so that the oil doesn't leave its own strong flavor in the cake. So this is my biggest secret when I bake a chocolate cake, is that I dust the pan with some cocoa powder instead of using regular flour. This way the cake will slide out more easily, plus you won't get any white specks on the cake. I've just got the oven preheating to 190 degrees Celsius, and here's some lukewarm water. Lukewarm, not boiling, you should just be able to stick your finger in it comfortably. And I'm adding it to half a cup of cocoa powder. I'm just going to whisk it to get the lumps out. That's all nicely mixed up. I'm just going to set it aside so that it can cool a bit and get going with the dry ingredients. So I've got 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour here, and I'm adding 1 cup of caster sugar. I'm adding 3/4 teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of salt, and just whisk it all together. You want all the dry ingredients nicely mixed up together and evenly distributed. Now, as much as is possible, make a well in the center of the dry ingredients and pour in this cocoa mixture and half a cup of, again, a neutral flavored oil like canola or sunflower. I've got canola here though. And a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now just whisk all of this together. Again, no hand mixer or electric beater required. You can just use a regular balloon whisk and whisk all of this together till there are no lumps. There's no problem of overmixing or overbeating this batter because there are no eggs in this batter or butter for that matter. Just beat it to get the lumps out. I reckon this works. Now for my secret ingredient in this batter, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of plain white vinegar. This plain white vinegar is what's going to combine with the baking soda in the batter to give the cake the rise that it requires. Now I'm going to pour this batter into the prepared cake pan, and it looks just so good. I could eat it as it is. Off to bake. So the cake takes generally about 30 to 40 minutes to bake, and now I'm going to let it cool on this wire rack for about 20 minutes. After 20 minutes of letting the cake cool, just take a knife and run it along the edges of the pan just to make sure that the cake is not sticking to the sides of the pan. Now I'm just going to open up the cake pan. Fingers crossed! I'm gently taking the bottom off to let the cake cool completely. And in the meantime, I'm going to make the chocolate glaze. So I've got 50 grams of chocolate that I've melted and cooled slightly. Just this glossy chocolate. And I'm adding 1/3 cup of sifted icing sugar. So it's starting to get a little lumpy. That's when I'm going to add some warm water. And just make sure that this is warm water, and again, not boiling water or anything. Now I'm just adding the rest of the icing sugar. Just work quickly to whisk it. If you don't follow a vegan lifestyle, you don't have to make this glaze. You could make a ganache. But even if you don't follow a vegan lifestyle, think of this as a much lighter chocolate cake to eat. Yeah, now the glaze is ready. So the cake's cooled completely, and now for the exciting part of adding the glaze. I'm going to very gently lift the parchment paper off, and because we've greased and dusted it so much, it's not stuck to the bottom of the cake at all. But you do have to do this very carefully nevertheless, because it's such a gentle little cake. This is going to be so awesome. Now I'm just going to pour all of the glaze, which has been cooled, on top of this cake. Just watch that. Oh my God. Just get all of that there. And use an offset spatula to just spread it around. And you can see that it's starting to set over the cake already. It's time to cut a nice big piece of this cake to impress someone, don't you think? It's a very moist crumbed cake, so you just have to be a little careful that you don't break it when you pull it out. Look at that. Not bad. You're getting good at this. See? I told you.